What's up, guys? It's Mr. Jamvet, and today we are back for another Pokemon Showdown Road to Top 10. Thank you guys for killing. Matter of fact, kill the like button right now. But before we get into it, welcome to all my new subscribers. This won't be the only content that you see throughout the week for all of my new people and for people that have been here. I've just been busy. So didn't end up to get. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in between. If I just do regular OU lives that aren't road to top 10, where I use the more gimmicky team. I think that might be an overload of OU or whatever. So I might do team building. Well, I will do team building in between to kind of refresh myself with the meta, but also just to provide that kind of content. But before we begin, I want to do some quick shout outs. The guys have been just killing it, man. The process never fails. And you'll see evidence of that if you haven't seen it 100 times already. But shout outs to Vivi. He recently came back into the game after a little hiatus. And I remember him asking me, what do you recommend me do to get back in? And I was like, the fact that you're asking me that means you're getting attached to your results. So I was like, just play. You got to remember that winning and losing are both good. And so if you're essentially asking me, how can I not lose as much? How can I get back to where I once was, which is attaching yourself to where you once were, which is just suppressing what you could be. And so it's mandatory to just detach yourself, particularly if you're stuck. And usually that breakthrough happens. And so second person I want to shout out is Ninjak. We're doing a series together currently where we're attempting something that's never been done. I usually train people, but you guys don't get to see them actually play. And so he's a new YouTuber, great narration style. He has a lot of promise in the upcoming future. So I'm gonna leave his channel link in the description. Go subscribe to him so you can follow my training him there and see him play the game. And so for those of you guys who are newer and want, some kind of okay, where do I go? Is there somebody who's actually doing this? I'm lacking confidence. Best channel to subscribe to right now while he's still green, so you can see the entire process. And so he's in the first phase where I tell people to strictly focus on what they learned and what they did well. And just doing that, he ended up getting over 1,500, which is his peak. So congrats to him. I'm expecting a 1,600 message soon. And lastly, shout outs to Brock. He doesn't even read, but he got the book. So shout outs to him. New book coming soon. That's it's so crazy, guys. And then lastly, I want to shout out Shoes. Shoes, he said he loves the content. Took my advice on reflecting on each game after I play. Before that, he was, said pretty mediocre, 1,300 to 1,400. And he tilted a lot. And said now he just hit 1,700 for the first time ever. Took some time to build a team and worked on it and getting better at playing with it. Really love the game right now, which is the most important thing. He's enjoying the game again. That's because he has the right perspective. He said thanks again and keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you, Shoes. And Shoes actually did that in 10 days. So it went from 1,300-ish to 1,700 in 10 days. Guys, the process is your friend. It won't be the longest road, but I wanted to get an episode out. I don't think it's possible for me to decay yet, but I noticed these lower ladder guys have been having teams out the wazoo. Look at this heavy hitting team, man. I might have to raise the loss ratio to 15 because I also, I know that what I don't want is for me to grab some teams just randomly. And the team is super weak to something and I can't beat it. That's a problem for road. In normalized whatever, but in road, that's a problem. And so that's something I want to be mindful of. But let's break this down so we can move forward. Amanda Buzz is going to be critical for assisting with his Garchomp, Slowking, Dragapult, Kartana. 4 members, and then after Toxic is Amanda Buzz. Lander's going to be critical for Garchomp and Cart to a lesser extent. Heatran's core purpose. Not to trap anything in particular, but Toxic is something he guards really poorly against. And so that would be dope. Dragapult, Shadow Ball is guardable, but if I Thunderbolt doesn't have any good Draco switching, so I can go a long way with that. And then Future Sight plus Surging Strike is unguardable. Future Sight plus Surging Strike. Maybe Rotom. Yeah, I was thinking this is lower lighter, so he might just lead Rotom. It would be concerning if he nasty plotted, but Dragapult can take a hit. Ideally, just Volt Switch. Trick would suck. So he goes straight for Hydro Pump. I'm guessing lower lighter just has, excuse me, better access to teams, but just doesn't. Because I mean, you'd never Hydro Pump there. There's no reason to Hydro Pump, and so he sees the Future Sight here. I got a couple options here. I could. This is actually good. So now this allows for me to Toxic his Mana Buzz, which we wanted, because this is only good Dragon Resist, which allows for Dragapult to be able to come in. If he U-turns, then something is going to have to eat this Future Sight, unless he forgot. So Garchomp's going to eat a Future Sight, which is great. Nice. That's 43%. And it's leftover Garchomp, right? Which implies Toxic on it, which isn't great, but Lando isn't one of my key mons in this game. So you should just go for that. Stealth Rocks or Toxic, right? I want Stealth Rocks to punish that Rotom. I'm very surprised that he's going for SD. I'm just thinking. I got a couple ways to go about this. I'm just gonna Earthquake twice. He only has Stone Edge. Okay. Yeah, just to KO him there. I don't want my Mandibuzz getting super weakened because it wins, right? Especially because his is Toxic. His Rotom is the only thing left, and he's probably gonna let me Toxic that with Heatran sooner or later. So his Rotom Wash comes in. It could be a slower variant, like no speed, but the play here is always to go to Slowking and kind of reset. The question is gonna be though whether I want to teleport directly or I want to Future Sight again. If Slowking is in, I mean, I could Scald as well. So we want to stop, because I figured Will-O-Wisp would eventually come out, right? So we want to stop and assess, okay, how do we intend to win this game, right? Dragapult coming in and clicking Draco Meteor does not guarantee me a kill because his Mandibuzz is alive. My Slowking shuts down his Slowking, which is good. My Heatran is unguardable. So this actually might be a slower game. And that's something, as I'm coming back in the game, I'm starting to realize. I'm trying to finish my opponents in as short a turn as possible, which leaves me open for mistakes instead of playing the long game, which is what I recommend and what I usually would do in a more serious game. But I have to give these opponents the respect that they're due, or else we're going to be losing unnecessary games. Because trying to rush, like, what am I rushing for? Let's enjoy the game. And so in a countermeasure for him would be Volt switching into what? Kartana. I don't know what his card set is. I'm actually going Future Sight. Future Sight. Mandibuzz doesn't make any. I'll Future Sight. I think having that out is a little better because it forces his hand. And I'll probably get a kill soon with the Future Sight lingering. If he goes to Kartana, the reason I'm worried is because I don't want it. One, I don't know it's set. Like, it could be Life Orb. If I knew it's set, then okay. But since I don't know it's set, I'm forced to go to Landorus here. He's likely to knock off. I don't want him knocking off my Mandibuzz at him. If he Swords Dances, right. So that implies Choice Scarf, because otherwise Dragapult would have been a great switch. And so now this forces in his Mandibuzz to take the Future Sight. He showed U-turn, so there's no point in, yeah, which is great. So now this allows for me to either get the KO on the Mandibuzz, but I'm guaranteed to take a significant amount of value here. He's max defense, but now he can't just keep staying. He might U-turn, defogs. That's actually great for me. I don't want those rocks up. So Mandibuzz is gone, which means I can now Shadow Ball for a guaranteed KO every time. So the Future Sight forcing the hands. Future sight is not something I use super often, so sometimes I do want to be a little more careful. I'm gonna go to Dragapult here, even though I said Dragapult is the big boy, the big bad wolf kind of thing, and I know he's gonna Volt Switch. He actually Hydro Pump, which is great for us, because he's showing Will-O-Wisp. I mean, I suppose he could have Thunder Wave as the other move. It's best to Draco Meteor here, but I don't want to miss. I want to guarantee value, especially I can do it KO him. Will-O-Wisp, okay, excellent. Obviously Dragapult doesn't care about that, so if Rotom goes away, it doesn't mean Urshifu just gets a kill every time. It doesn't. But Rotom going away means that now he can't guard against ground, so this allows for me to go to my Heatran, which is my weakest link currently. You're right, I figured he'd either Leaf Blade or Knockoff because I went to Landorus last time. And so this allows for me to guarantee value with Earth Power. Earth Power won't kill Chomp. Magma Storm would. I'll Magma. If it hits Chomp, I'll kill it. If he goes Polt, it's stuck unless it U-turns. And Polt getting hit there means I might just be able. No, I can't CC either. Who am I kidding? Urshifu is just not the mon here. But I do. I am able to just click Shadow Ball. I'm pretty sure again it's Scarf Cart. This allows for us just Earth Power. I ran some Spadef, even though initially I was max special attack, which would have been fine here too. But to ensure the Polt dies, because as long as Mandibu's alive, I pretty much crush Scarf Cart and all those other things. So Garchomp likely to rear ugly head here, which is fine by me, because I'm thinking, well, there's nothing Cart could ever lock itself into. It's just he Stone Edge is just not a bad play. I think he should always Stone Edge there. But all I need to do here is position myself to take value. He can't guard against Ghost at this point. The Slowking should not be able to take 2 because I'm Choice Specs. It might be close, but I shouldn't be able to take 2. Okay, excellent. You should go back to Kartana. Okay, interesting. He goes to Slowking. Obviously, there's no reason for me to switch. This is the only thing it beat. Wow, I actually did not do it because I knew he'd Future Sight. It was just a question of okay, because he shouldn't be able to 2K him. Yeah, that was a choke because he's gonna die here. Maybe he thought I'd switch. And so obviously Shadow Ball again, and then Lando wraps it up. But he never. I mean, it wasn't a choke, but like there was just no shot after Cart died. Choke means you were going to win and you made a play. Like my mistake in the previous one when I didn't pay attention to Unaware Clef, right? I can't make mistakes like those when it's such a tight. Like they're great players on this ladder that will give me a run for my money, and so it's really disrespectful to assume that I can give up points down here and still have an easy time with them up there, right? They're competent. They're at the top for a reason. Not to say ladder is the end all be all, but once you get to a certain point in Pokemon, I mean, really, once you get to, you can technically lose to anybody, because the game has so much variance. It's just that you'll win more often than you lose, not that you'll never lose. And so it's just every game is like, oh man, because we're doing everything to keep every win we can, and so I just have to be on my toes and be sharp. Urshifu is going to be critical for 2 main reasons. Well, I have a Heatran on this team. I'm thinking of a different team because I had to pick these in with the fact that okay, I can't afford to just use any random team. And any random team and have people running up on me, right? And so in a case like this, it's probably screens Coco. This means that, well, Heatran always beats Volk. Hawlucha is concerning, but depending if he has ton or sub, my Lando will get dropped. So I'll have to almost always have a future sight in hand for that Halucha, because I'm very weak to that. Weavile is shut down by our Shifu, but Shifu is really good here. If he leaves with Coco, there's no way I can stop that anyway. So what I'm going to do is lead her Shifu on the off chance that he doesn't lead with a Coco and leads with the drill. Yeah, like he should always lead with Coco there. But as I said, you know, you always go with Shifu here. He probably just has screen. Oh, he specs Dazzling Gleam. I did not expect that from his team. Which means he's going to go to... So U-turn here is my play. Oh, what? He stays in... Oh my god, that means I got rocks up there. Would have been huge. And if I killed his Coco, but this is lower ladder. What am I doing? I'm tripping. But the reason I didn't Earthquake there, even though Earthquake was technically free, is because if his Halucha comes in on me, if his drill comes in, it's faster than me, and it just sets up rocks for free. Well, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. In hindsight, I should have just attacked there. I don't, again, regret it, but it's one of those things where it's like, could have done that differently. Let me think. Slow King. So we're going to go Slow King here. We're going to reposition. I'm going to teleport because I'm expecting him to go directly into his Excadrill here. He goes hard Weavile. Didn't expect Weavile, but I'll take it because this guarantees me a KO. I mean, he can choose to knock off if he wants. Removing Weavile. So Volk's dead. I get burned, which sucks, but Volk's dead. That burn sucks. That sucks. Okay, let me run the speed calc on this. I mean, I guess I don't need to. Well, I don't know if Polt dies in one. So it does matter. My Shifu is still important. Let me see. What's Gyarados? 287. Which would be 387. Half of 80. Right. Yeah, he's faster than my Polt. How much does Gyarados get up to? I mean, I could easily just go to my Mandibuzz and foul play away, but you get the idea. That's if he is max speed. Okay, yeah. Let's go to Mandibuzz directly here. I knew you were doing a Dragon Dance, but I'm heavily defensive, so you can't like one-shot me or anything. He's subbing there was a misplay. Cause now, well, please, like this is the type of stuff, the variance that I'm talking about, right? Cause okay, he didn't flinch. I didn't want to even say the word. So Coco is in. I think you always Dazzling here, but I do want to have the Lando alive. And Heatran being positioned is fine. Okay, so he does Thunderbolt. Do I care about him doubling here? He gets the defense drop. And so this is where things get interesting. Is he sub? If he's sub and I U-turn and he SDs. This is an important turn. Like, do you have sub? Right? Like Toxic Lando is very common. What's the lowest risk play for me? If I go to Slow King, I'll U-turn here. So I could have just Toxic there and had him, but I have the Future Sight now. And depending on what he is, if he doesn't have sub, then he just dies. But it's his lower ladder, right? So you don't know how much they're thinking. So Future Sight here. Let me think. If I Scald, this Coco got hit. Cause soon I'll be able to just drag a pole in too. So I scald here in the off chance he has sub. Then I go to something that he can't sub on. It's just Polt. Polt doesn't die to acro though. No way Polt dies to a +1 acro. Because I could easily just switch out, but Polt's like super important. Halucha. And Drago Polt. Let me see what my timer is saying. 90 seconds. Halucha, acrobatics, +1. None. No item. Acrobatics can kill me actually. Wow. Never mind. This is so tough because it's a roll. It's in his favor. So let me think. If I lose Polt, then that Coco really becomes a problem. I can't afford to lose Polt. But I also can't afford for that Coco to do whatever it wants. I'm gonna go Mandibuzz if he has sub. Okay, so he doesn't sub. Okay, so Halucha is dead. Yeah, so like there are just too many factors there. There goes a way I could play that where I wouldn't lose any Pokemon. But if he has sub or taunt, it puts me really far in the back. So I'm like, okay, we gotta assume the opponent, you know, knows certain things and yada 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 and all that good stuff. So I'm not sure why Drill was the play here. I'm just gonna foul play. Yeah, I don't know why Drill was his play. So that allows me to go to Urshifu and Surging Strikes. If he Scarf, then that's fine. I get to just Surging Strikes away, and then go to Polt. Yeah, so Drill dies. I think he was Sash, but I don't expect Sash to have Rock Slide, so that was pretty odd. We're gonna keep Urshifu obviously to shut down that Weavile. Should always Volt Switch here. Dazzles though. If I miss, I get no value. Both can miss 90% though. If I miss, I get no value whatsoever. It's just Magma. I'm a man. The question is he Sword Stance? Is he Sword Stance? If that's the case, can Sword Stance beat Shifu? No. Should just be Banded, yeah. Or Life Orb, whatever. Then Surging Strikes is free here. Huh. Life Orb. So you go to Heatran here. I'm expecting Triple Axle. Yeah, so it makes him take 2 more life. I actually should have just CC'd there. That was a misplay. And this is why I was thinking about Toxicking. And I'm like, I just win the game. But I knew I wouldn't lose if he didn't. If he was something like this. But I'm like, okay, well, if both of them can miss, one delays the game significantly, but it would prevent something like this. Wow. Got lucky there. But that's fine as we just go to Urshifu and Aqua Jet here. Aqua Jet plus Life Orb will do the trick unless he learns Drain Punch. Figured Jet would kill though. And so now he has to lock himself into Dazzling Gleam, but because I know he's Choice Spexed, Dragapult obviously outspeeds and knocks it out with the ball of Shadow. So wouldn't it be some shit if it wasn't? But let me calc Pulse, Shadow Ball versus Tapu Koko. All these head calcs that I do not know. OU choice specs. Watch it be the lone modest choice spec. Shadow Ball does 72 to 86. So it's in my best interest to just U-turn and come back in and Shadow Ball. But this game could have been very, very, like, he had the tools to give me a hard time. So Shadow Ball should just knock out Koko, guaranteed at 61. Yup. But yeah, like, as I said, guys, when it's like lower on the ladder, there's just a very little wiggle room for, you don't know what they don't know. And so a player like this, which is actually why a lot of players tend to use, I was talking to somebody about this, but it's actually what a reason that players use stall whenever they don't know the opponent's skill level, is because in Pokemon, the opponent's not knowing how to play, or not knowing something, can actually pay off. Because what if he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna set up with my Hawlucha turn 1, whereas in any other case that would be a horrible idea, but in this particular game it was a good one. I made a few misplays. I should have just won Toxic the Weavile. It was a greedy play. I also was a pretty greedy play, Surging Striking instead of just close combating, because in that position, you know, I didn't expect Sword Dance, but that's the worst case scenario. And so if there was a way he could wiggle himself into a decent position, it was doing that, and he did it, and I allowed it to happen. So that would have just cleaned the game up there for sure. But yeah, so I'm gonna end it here, primarily because I have a session in less than 15 minutes, and if I grab another one and it doesn't end in the time that it's supposed to, then you know, that's cutting into the session time. So that's where we're gonna end it for today. Hope y'all enjoyed. More coming Monday and whatnot. So, you know, just let this hold you over. Uber Sunday come in tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.